I want to go over a little tutorial on your furnace and some of the issues that can be caused by a furnace. Patrick Summers, President and CEO of General Air Conditioning and Plumbing. This unit I've taken apart a little bit just to make it easier for this presentation. This is basically your circuit board, and this is going to be up here, and this is where you're going to see the lights. This here is a 3-amp fuse, so that's to protect the circuit board. You got a transformer, and then all of these electronics, they control everything. And all of your wiring ties in here for the thermostat, right? So your thermostat is going to have wires that run from the thermostat to the furnace, from the furnace to the condenser outside. And here's your little indicator light. So again, I'm just holding this here in a way that's easy for me to hold it. This is not how it's installed and configured, okay? This here is a blower wheel. The blower motor goes in the center. This is used in heating, in cooling, and it's also used in fan-only mode. So if your thermostat has fan on, fan auto, typically we want it in the auto position. So it only comes on when the heating or air is running. However, if you want to just circulate air through your home, then you just put it to the on position. Now, this blower motor, again, is used for heating and cooling. So very important piece of the equipment. Inside this blower motor this is what we call a squirrel cage. And this is what moves the air through the home. This very critical component. It should stay clean. That's why you want good filtration. If this gets dirty, a little buildup on here could cut down on the efficiency pretty significantly. Good filtration helps this from getting a bunch of dirt on it. If you get a duct cleaning, should include pulling and cleaning the blower motor and the squirrel cage. If any of these break, you're going to know it. It's going to make a nasty noise because it's going to be flopping around in there. And it's going to create an imbalance in this wheel because this helps stabilize as well, these do. So what you have is this thing will start going like that and just continue to come apart. So if you hear a noise or there's a vibration, this is something you're going to want to check. So that sits inside here and the motor's in to the side. And again, that pushes the air through the home or the building, whether it's commercial building or residential building. All right, up here, this is a little different. So back here is your burners. Now, because this is an ultra low NOx, these burners are sealed, meaning you cannot see them. On a typical furnace that you find in the rest of the country and you used to be able to find in Southern California, the burners would be out here more and you could see them. You could actually see the flame burning and you could check that. And I'm going to do a video with one of those furnaces as well so you can see that. This is all part of helping this thing perform, the ultra low NOx. The major components, gas valve. The gas valve, this regulates the gas coming into your furnace and it has to be at a certain pressure. Not too high, not too low. This turns on when the control board indicates for it to turn on and it'll shut off as certain safeties trip. This is an inducer fan motor. Very important component, part of the safety system. It helps exhaust the gases from the burners. In order for this to work, you have to pull a vacuum. So there's a pressure switch and that pressure switch lets it know that this is working properly. And then it exhausts. And here's the exhaust up here. This is where all the products of combustion enter the flue pipe and leave the home safely. So back here, inside here is a heat exchanger. Heat exchanger are tubes that the burners shoot through and the hot gases run through these burners and the air comes up along those burners and that's how the air is heated, okay? Remember, hot goes to cold. It's one of the laws of thermodynamics. Hot goes to cold. Cold doesn't go to hot. All right, so these are all safeties and you can't really see them here because of this, but back here you have safeties, you have temperature safeties, you've got gas valve safety. Imagine this furnace, the blower stops working. If the blower was to fail and stop working, but the burners kept going, this would get incredibly hot and become very dangerous and eventually start a fire. So there's safeties that will shut down the burners. And of course, if the burners shut down, the gas has to shut down because you can't have gas continue to fill your home. If the flame goes out, let's say the blower's running, but the flame goes out, then there's a safety that says shut the gas off. So you have all these safeties. I look at them like dominoes. You know, when you set dominoes up, you hit one and they all fall. Think of your furnace with those dominoes and you hit one, they all have to fall in order for this to start. If one of them does not fall, one of them's not working, this will not start. And you do not ever want to bypass any of your safeties, okay? The really important thing here, just so you know, this is where the gas line, when this gets plumbed in, the gas would come in here, right? Your gas line would come in here. This should always be hard piped, never flex through here. That's a code violation. It's very dangerous, especially in a place like Southern California where you have a lot of earthquakes. You do not want that to be flexed. It has to be hard piped. One of the things in a maintenance and why a maintenance is so important on this is you're testing your safeties. You want to make sure all your safeties are working correctly. You also want to make sure that this is not leaking any carbon monoxide. The oxide and monoxide, sometimes people get confused. The oxide, too much of it can kill you because it displaces the oxygen in the air, but it's the carbon monoxide, the deadly gas, the silent killer that kills people each and every year, sends many people to the hospital. You want to make sure that is tested as part of the maintenance. So this is just a quick high-level overview of a furnace maintenance. I'm going to produce a couple more videos where I break down some of the individual components. I just wanted to lay this out. Again, it's not all over the country. This is a Southern California furnace. They're more expensive to produce. They're more expensive for us to purchase, for the homeowner to purchase. But it's one reason why you might consider a heat pump if you're in Southern California, because heat pumps are a viable option. The technology is really great. They're incredibly efficient, and the climate's really good for them, especially in Southern California. So right now, if it's time to replace your system, you may want to look to go to a heat pump and get some of those incentives to switch. They're much quieter as well. Any furnace is going to have a little bit of noise to it. If you have a furnace, you know what I'm talking about, because you have burners and they make a noise, okay? One thing I will tell you, you can always check your furnace. Whenever you turn your heat on, you should stand by. If it's in the attic or it's in the basement or a hall closet, garage, if it's not working, one of the things you can do, this is going to turn on before anything else starts. So if you do not hear this turn on, you've got some sort of issue that is preventing this from starting. So you'll hear the inducer draft motor start, and then after a little bit of time, the burners will fire and the boiler motor will start up and you'll be going. But just a little tad insight there. So heat pumps, a viable option. There's also dual fuel, which qualifies for certain rebates as well. And a dual fuel, what a dual fuel is going to have electric. So you're going to have the heat pump technology and you're going to have gas heat. So you're going to have both. That can be really beneficial for several different reasons. One in particular is you can switch between the two based on which is the most affordable for you at the time. So I hope that helps. Thank you for tuning in. Again, regardless of where you are in the country, you got questions, go on our website, shoot us an email, give us a call. We'll help you out, whether you're one of our customers or not. Callthegeneral.com or 760-343-7488. We got an amazing team here. Be more than happy to get you help and answer your questions.